Hi, I'm Brady, and this is PJ and Dylan. We're at the Springfield Thunderbirds. This is Toronto Marlies here in Springfield, home of the 2019 All-Star Game. And you're watching Post to Post.
Hello and welcome to Post, the channel where we discuss all things hockey and all teams. My name's Neil, this is Brent. We are coming at you for a trade deadline recap video. Now, it actually happened about 5 or 6 days ago, and I do apologize that it's taken us this long to get it out, but it's almost a blessing in a way because we got a chance to see some of the players that were traded playing their first couple of games. So it actually helps the opinion of the trade a little bit.
Yeah,
so.
A little more informative.
Exactly.
Opinion,
so
not just a guess.
I'm going to go through not all the trades because some were pretty insignificant. Some were even just like AHL to AHL trades. I'm going to go over the majority of the trades, about 80 to 90% of them. So I'll go over all the details and tell you who I think won the trade. And I mean, realistically, some of these trades, we don't know who won the trade yet. So,
no.
And obviously,
we may not for a couple of years.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Anyways, I'm wearing my new Toronto Maple Leafs jersey. If you haven't seen the video from earlier, I unboxed this, and yeah, Austin Matthews. Ready?
Ready.
All right.
Okay.
So I think this is basically in chronological order as they happened the night before the trade deadline up to the actual closing.
Yeah, because some of the trades started triggering on Sunday.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So the first trade was between Anaheim and Buffalo. So Anaheim got Brendan Gould, I think you pronounce his name, 2019 conditional first-round pick. And the condition on that pick is the pick will come from St. Louis or San Jose because Buffalo owns both. Buffalo owns both, so they will decide one of the two. I don't know, whatever. And Buffalo gets Brandon Montour, and he's an RFA in 2020, 2021. So we've got to see Montour play. I'm not sure if you've watched any Buffalo games in the past couple of days. I have. He's actually made some pretty good contributions for Buffalo.
Yes.
In those past couple of games.
I have seen some highlights.
That trade actually so far has worked out in Buffalo's favor, although I think long-term I still might give the trade winner to Anaheim. Again, we don't know the conditional first-round pick. That could be anyone. That could be...
Yeah,
like we just don't know yet. So it'll probably be 5 or 6 years before we know who wins this trade officially. But you know, Buffalo needed another right shot defenseman. He's only 24, and they're just kind of rolling the dice a little bit. So yeah, I don't blame them for making this trade.
Sometimes these conditional picks or picks later on become really good players. I just read today that the Andrew Shaw trade with Montreal and Chicago a couple of years back. That pick, one of the two picks that Montreal traded away, became DeBrincat.
Yeah.
So, and now not that Shaw's a bad thing in exchange. I mean, he's been playing exceptional hockey
so far this year.
Yeah. But you just can't evaluate these trades that involve picks until later.
The next trade was between Detroit and San Jose. This happened at like 12:30 Pacific time. We were all asleep when this happened, I believe. So Detroit gets a 2019 second-round pick. They get a 2020 conditional third-round pick, and the condition is if Sharks make the finals or if Nyquist, the person that San Jose gets in this trade, resigns with the Sharks, the pick becomes a second-round pick. And San Jose just gets Gustav Nyquist, who is a UFA. So basically a rental situation. Maybe they'll resign him. Probably not because of cap, but you never know. I think Nyquist is worth more, in my opinion, than a second and potentially another second. But if you're going to lose him anyway, if Nyquist wasn't a part of Detroit's future, you got to get something for him.
And Detroit needs to walk away from. He was going to be UFA anyway, so he's going to come off the books as far as cap goes. But like you say, if they weren't going to sign him anyway, and they have trouble with their cap still, and will have, may as well get something.
Yeah, may as well.
Yeah.
The next trade is between Columbus and New Jersey. Columbus gets Keith Kincaid, who is a UFA, and New Jersey gets a 2022 fifth-round pick. Kincaid is worth more than a fifth-round pick, in my opinion. Oh, sorry. The previous trade, I think San Jose wins that trade. I think it's worth the risk to get Nyquist.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty stacked right now.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Back to the other trade.
Okay.
I think Keith Kincaid is worth more than a fifth-round pick, but in the same situation as the Nyquist trade, if you're going to lose Keith Kincaid anyway because he's a UFA and you don't really see a future there with him, then, I mean, I guess a fifth-round pick is better than nothing, but it's still, you think you'd get more. I think if you had traded him earlier in the season, you would have got more than a 5th round pick. But that's my opinion.
Yep.
So I believe Columbus wins this trade because now they've solidified some goaltender depth if there's an injury leading up to the playoffs or during the playoffs. So I actually really like this trade by Columbus.
Yeah, and that's the real benefit to Columbus. It's not that they had an immediate need, but they need to have some depth because they hope this time, and based on the other deals they've made, as you will probably get to, they looks like they're planning to go deep.
Yeah,
So,
real deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would give this win to Columbus in my opinion.
I'd agree.
The next trade is between Winnipeg and the Rangers. So Winnipeg gets Kevin Hayes, who is a UFA, and the Rangers get Brendan Lemieux, a 2019 conditional first-round pick. And the condition is if Winnipeg's pick turns out to be a top 3, then the Rangers get their 2020 first instead. They also get a 2022 conditional 4th-round pick, and the condition is if Winnipeg wins the Cup, they get that pick.
Okay.
So
I'm sure if they win the Cup, the front office is going to be going, hey, we get that pick.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah.
So, I mean, Brendan Lemieux has actually had some pretty substantial impact in the 2 games that he's played with the Rangers.
He's
so
played
far.
a couple, and he's been involved.
He's been in fights. He's got some points. He's
a real in-your-face player, a lot like his papa.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's got the hands and the touch that Claude had, but I instantly liked him, except the fact that he's playing for the other team, so I instantly didn't like him in the game that Montreal and New York played on Friday night. He was in their face. He was in Montreal's face, and I instantly didn't like him. And as I said to you during the game, I don't like him, but I'd like to have him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think it's good for the Rangers to get that.
And they get a conditional 1st-round pick.
That's right.
So I mean that's a pretty substantial return for the Rangers. Kevin Hayes is a great player.
Yep.
I like Kevin Hayes a lot. He's actually played pretty well so far with Winnipeg in his first couple of games. But in my opinion, Winnipeg overpaid for this. So I would give the winner to the Rangers as it stands right now. Again, we don't know who that pick's going to be, but still.
It's a little more even because we see more immediate. We're talking a live body for a live body instead of a prospect, but or an undrafted prospect. It's possible sometimes for both teams to win a trade, and this would be close to that.
Yep.
But I don't have any argument with your assessment there.
Yeah, we don't quite know yet.
Yeah.
The next trade was between Colorado and Florida. So Colorado gets Derek Brassard, who is a UFA. They get a 2020 conditional 6th-round pick. The condition is if Brassard signs with Colorado, then no pick is awarded. Florida gets a 2020 3rd-round pick. So Brassard has been tossed around the league a little bit. He's been in Pittsburgh. He's been in the Rangers and Ottawa.
He went in a one-on-one for Zibanejad, right, between Ottawa and the Rangers. It was man for man, or was there other stuff there?
I don't remember.
I don't remember vividly either. But when that trade happened, I equated them roughly as an asset for asset thing. But clearly, I think Zibanejad has been the better performing player over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, this is Brassard's 5th team in the past 3 years, I think, or 2 years. I actually really like Brassard. When we were making the video probably 2 years now about our favorite player on every single team, and maybe we should do that again. I believe he was with Ottawa at the time. He was my favorite player on Ottawa.
Oh.
So would you like to do a video like that again?
Yeah, sure.
Let us know down in the comments if you want us to do our favorite player from every team again, because I'm sure it's changed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's all the rosters are different now than 2 years ago, so it definitely has changed.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to give the winner here to Colorado, just because I think Brassard has a lot of potential, and a third round pick I think is justifiable for Derek Brassard. So this is a trade that might work out for both teams, but I still think Colorado won this trade.
Fair ball.
The trade after that was between Columbus and the Rangers. So Columbus gets Adam McQuaid, who is a UFA, and the Rangers get Julius Bergman, a 2019 4th-round pick, and a 2019 7th-round pick. Again, Columbus is kind of going all in here, and McQuaid was an interesting acquisition because he has a lot of playoff experience. He has a lot of shutdown experience. I really like this trade as far as Columbus is concerned, because they went after the specific type of player that they really wanted for their lineup. So I think he's going to fit in with Columbus. He is a UFA, so obviously it's a bit of a risk there. He might not resign. He probably won't. But if they're going to make a run, you may as well get McQuaid. He's got lots of experience.
And Columbus is a team that's not gotten past the first round, despite all the talent they've had over the last couple of years. And they're in McQuaid, they're getting someone who's been all the way to the end of the playoff run and has a ring to prove it.
Yes, he does.
And they need some of that in their dressing room. And he's been healthier lately. One of the question marks about Adam McQuaid in the last several years was the extended absences for injuries. And that hasn't really happened, knock on wood, I hope it doesn't. But it's nice to have him back and healthy and being such an attractive trade bait for a team that really thinks they can go all the way. So it looks good for him. It's good for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And it looks like the Rangers were probably going to lose McQuaid anyways. He wasn't part of their future, looked like. So works out probably in their favor as well. So although I like the trade from Columbus's perspective, I'm actually going to give the winner to the Rangers because the Rangers are just stacking up on picks. They've got like 20 picks in the next 2 years of draft picks.
And I think
it's
it's
crazy.
Columbus and maybe Edmonton don't even have to go to the draft.
Yeah, there's another team that only has one. I can't remember
Yeah,
who
I
it
forget
is.
who it is, but
Who is it? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. The next trade is between Calgary and Los Angeles. Calgary acquires Oscar Fantenberg, which is an amazing name, by the way. And the Kings get a 2020 conditional fourth-round pick, and the condition is the fourth becomes a third if Calgary makes the conference finals and Fantenberg plays in 50% of the games. Calgary gets a left-shot defenseman, which they had a need for, so they get a little bit of depth there. And I would think that's... I actually like this trade on both sides. Again, chemistry, you don't really know what's going to happen, so it's kind of risky that way. But I'm going to give this win to Calgary in this trade. But again, we might not know for a couple of months or years. Who knows?
Yeah.
The trade after that was between Minnesota and Nashville. Minnesota got Kevin Fiala, who is an RFA, and Nashville got Mikael Granlund, who is a UFA in 2021. I'm really, really, really shocked that Minnesota traded Mikael Granlund, one of their best players, one of their longest tenured players, and I really didn't see it coming. It just totally threw me for a loop. So I'm not sure what to think of this trade even now. I really like Kevin Fiala as well, so I would personally give this. Oh man, I don't know. I'm just shocked. I don't really know who. I don't know who to call a winner here. I feel like. Oh man. What do you think?
I don't know. I follow this even less than you do.
I feel like Nashville won the trade, but because I really like Mikael Granlund, I think maybe my opinion's biased a little bit. I'm having a hard time getting my head around this one, but I think this trade just doesn't even really make sense to me, and I don't think Granlund needed to leave Minnesota, so I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time accepting this one, guys.
Boys,
so
stop the press.
Anyways, let me know what you think down in the comments of this one. This one's a wild one, pun intended. The trade after that is between Vegas and Ottawa. So Vegas gets Mark Stone, who they've signed to an extension, Tobias Lindberg, and Tobias Lindberg, and Ottawa gets Oscar Lindberg, who is a UFA, and Eric Brandstrom, who's in the AHL, and apparently an incredible player, an absolutely phenomenal player. But some people are comparing him to Erik Karlsson a little bit, but you know how players like Erik Karlsson last in Ottawa.
Well, there you go.
And they also get a 2020 second round pick. I believe Vegas wins this trade because I think that Ottawa could have got more from Mark Stone. Like, I'll just come out and say it. I think they could have, especially if they've made it a trade 2 months ago. I really think they could have gotten at least a first and maybe more than like Eric Brandstrom, a first, maybe someone else. I don't know. I think Ottawa's. Ottawa's in trouble in general.
Ottawa has made so many bad decisions.
I'm trying to be nice.
About everything. About player movements, about coaching.
It's crazy.
About location, about everything. Ottawa just seems to come to a fork in the road and take the wrong angle every
I know.
time.
It's crazy. And disappointed Ottawa fans everywhere, I think.
Yeah, and Stone has been a great fit in Vegas in the couple of times they've played games since then.
Yeah.
He's been in and doing well.
He looks weird in that jersey, though.
He does, but
It's strange.
there was a tape-to-tape pass in the game they played last night. He got the assist on it.
Mm-hmm.
It was sweet, and it went through 2 defenders and just right on.
Nice.
It was beautiful. Yeah.
The trade after that, speaking of people who look weird in certain jerseys, Nashville got Wayne Simmons, who was a UFA, in exchange for Ryan Hartman and a 2020 conditional 4th-round pick. It is very strange seeing Wayne Simmons in that yellow uniform. I'm not sure if you've got a chance to see any of the games or any
I
pictures.
have not, no.
It's very strange. I'm going to give this trade win to... I really like Ryan Hartman, too. He actually has been he played fairly decent in his first couple of games with Philadelphia. That 2020 conditional 4th-round pick, by the way, the condition is 4th becomes a 3rd if Nashville wins 1 round. It looked like Simmons was leaving anyway.
Mm-hmm.
There's been rumors of Simmons being traded for 2 years, and I never understood it. Although this year I've started to, because he's had a bit of decline in his game, but I think he saw the move coming. So I think maybe he's just looking for a fresh start.
And this will tell the tale. He's now with a team that's a real contender. He's only 30, or he's already 30, depending which side of the clock you're looking at. And he made just shy of $4 million this year, and probably wants somewhere to go where he's going to be with a contender for the next 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think he can really contribute. And we'll now find out if he is a player in decline, or
That's
whether
true.
now that he's playing with a better environment and more support around him, whether his game comes back up to the level we think it should be at. So, yeah.
I think this is a risk worthy on Nashville's part. I don't really see Simmons' style of game matching Nashville's, though. I really don't think that Simmons will re-sign in Nashville. I think he'll go to market and go somewhere else. That's just my opinion. I think he'll probably land in maybe St. Louis or Colorado or somewhere like that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, that's my opinion on that one.
Cool.
Last page. The next trade was between Boston and New Jersey. Boston gets Marcus Johansson, who is a UFA, with a 40% retained salary, and New Jersey gets a 2019 2nd-round pick and a 2020 4th-round pick. I really thought Johansson was there's Johansson, there's Janssen, there's what I always get them mixed up. Anyways, I really thought that he fit well in New Jersey, and they were probably going to lose him anyway. He was a UFA, so I think this is a really good trade on Boston's part as far as making a playoff run. But I think long term, New Jersey might win this one. So I'm kind of on the fence with this one. But
And that's how trades can be wins for both teams. One wins in the short term, the other wins in the long term.
if Boston wins the cup, Boston wins this trade.
Yeah, and he's another depth guy.
Yep.
He's played really all 3 positions in forward. He's played both wings. He's played center. So if someone goes down, the Bruins, they can confidently slot him in there.
Very skilled player as well.
Yeah, yeah.
The trade after that was between Pittsburgh and Vancouver. Pittsburgh got Eric Branson, and Vancouver gets Tanner Pearson. I'm giving this trade right away to Vancouver. I'm personally not a fan of Branson. I don't think he fits in Pittsburgh. However, the trade was out of necessity because Pittsburgh has been dealing with injuries. They needed him and someone like him in the lineup, so they had to make a trade like this. I don't like it, but I guess you have to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
So, but if I was a Pittsburgh fan, I wouldn't be very happy right now. But anyway. It's the third last trade on my sheet is between Winnipeg and Minnesota. Winnipeg gets Matt Hendricks, and Minnesota gets a 2020 7th-round pick. So Winnipeg gets a little bit more depth, get a bit of a veteran, just a total depth trade for Winnipeg.
Yep.
Not that serious of a trade. A 7th-round pick, that's pretty insignificant, so that's worth kind of tossing for a little bit of an experiment. So I'm okay with this. I'm going to give this win to Winnipeg. I think that's worth the risk. Second last trade was between Buffalo and Winnipeg. Buffalo gets a 2019 6th-round pick, and Winnipeg gets Nathan Beaulieu, who is an RFA. We are very familiar with Nathan Beaulieu because he played with Montreal for so many years.
We are.
I think that Winnipeg probably wins this trade because, again, they get a little bit of experience in Nathan Beaulieu, a feisty player, fits right in with their physicality that the Winnipeg Jets play, willing to fight, willing to skate. Nathan Beaulieu's a pretty good skater. He's a little slow, but every so often he makes a pretty good rush. So I'm still going to give this to Winnipeg, and a 6th-round pick is, again, a little bit insignificant. So,
and he was external to Buffalo's plans. Buffalo's got a very, very good hockey team right now.
Yes.
And it's interesting to see Buffalo and Winnipeg, both really real contender teams. Buffalo has the potential to eke in
Oh, yes, they do.
to the playoffs. And they've got an amazing roster of talented players, maybe not for this year, but certainly for next year and the years after that. So they're getting rid of what they think is maybe baggage as far as players that don't really match the kind of game that they want to play. But I agree with you. When Beaulieu played for Montreal, he was someone we watched a lot. He was very good in some games. He was cringy in other games.
Yes.
And I hope it's the good Beaulieu that lands in Winnipeg and takes advantage of the new start here.
Yes,
So,
I agree.
Good for him.
100% agree.
Hope he does well.
The last trade was between Anaheim and St. Louis. Anaheim gets a 2019 6th-round pick, and St. Louis gets Michael Del Zotto, who's a UFA. So this is going to, again, just a bit of a rental situation here. Michael Del Zotto has lots of experience. He's had some really, really good years. He's had some really, really bad years. I still think that St. Louis wins this trade. They get a lot of depth and acceptable risk for a 6th-round pick, which is fairly insignificant. So, that's all the trades.
That's all the last-minute trades.
That's all the trades
deadline
that I'd like to
trades.
talk about. There's other trades that happened.
There were
but-
massive trades before that,
Yeah, we've already discussed
which
those.
we've talked about.
in
So
the podcast and all kinds of other stuff. So,
yeah.
Yes. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. We will be filming the podcast tomorrow, so that'll release probably in about 24 hours from when this video is released. So if you are not subscribed, I hope you can subscribe and tune into our podcast every single Sunday. And other videos coming up. We have a video coming up on average attendance for each NHL team. So if you want to see that, please subscribe and make sure that you click that bell notification button down below. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Hope you're having a good weekend, and we'll see you soon. Adios.